Hi everybody. We are going to have a go at the letter Y today. I nearly went with just a very boring yellow or and considered yarn for a moment, but couldn't think of a good project. And then I received some happy mail, and in it was this little device. It comes apart like so, and it is a quick yo-yo maker. So it makes these little, I mean, mine don't look anywhere near as good as this. I don't know who made these, but mine come out looking a little more like this. So, sneak peek, I've added some beads to it. I have made several already. I've been practicing all yesterday on this because I don't feel like I'm very good at it, but we are going to push on, and it comes with these instructions and a suggestion on how to use them. Mine don't look anywhere near as nice as this. Mine don't form that shape. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it doesn't do that. It just doesn't. But it's quite simple to use, she says. So you take a bit of fabric, you put this piece, it's like a little dish, that way. Put your fabric face down. I want the flower in it. And then you put this piece with your, where it says clovey, that needs to be face up in there, and you just push it into place. It'll pop in, and then scissors. I had a different pair of scissors earlier, I don't know where the others have gone. Then you trim round, you have to leave a little bit of about 1/2 centimetre, I think it said on the instructions. I was having a bit of a moment with this yesterday. Right, I was going to film it last night and then decided to wait for the natural light. I've already got my piece of thread and everything ready. If you can hear lots of noises, I apologise, but it's a lovely day, so I've got my windows open. I aren't losing out on fresh air while it's nice. So, at one of these notched in points, you start there, and you start just to the left of it. Please ignore the state of underneath of my nails. I've just been tea-dyeing paper, and it has also made the underneath of my nails look rank, so please ignore that. We're going to start from this side, and we are going to, as I say, push down through into here, like so. You see, so to the left of this notch, or one of the notches. So we're going to go out through that way. My thread already has a knot in the end. And then we're going to go back in down that side of that, so that your stitch will be that size. I don't think you can see that. There you go. Your stitch is in there. So you just hold this down, push through. Of course, I think somebody has decided to start mowing their lawn right now. So you go right the way around. I might actually have to shut my window if they're going to carry on. You go right the way around. All the way. I need to concentrate a little when I'm sewing. It's not very high up on my things I'm good at list. Would you believe I took textiles at GCSE? bit. Back in that way. So you've got to make sure that you don't go over the gap between there. So don't go up that side and down that side into the different hole, because you're going to sew it onto the plastic thing. We need to be able to remove it. So you must sew within the holes, not over the plastic. Now, I love the theory of these. I think if I could get mine to look like those on the packet, I'd have been over the moon. Mine do not look like those on the packet though, as I said. So don't think they are going to look like that, because mine are not. What are we doing? That side. So when I've gone all the way around now, you see, and this is where I've just come up. Back at the beginning, you re-sew that first one. You don't go any further, just the first one. And then it's time to pop out. You keep your needle on, you don't knot it yet. So you see how you've got little stitches all the way around? And then you just open it up and remove that disc. And then what you do is you pull it tight. You have to tuck in your seam allowance. Could be using a technical term. So you tuck it in. Now, I seem to not be able to get it to pleat nicely all the way around. So I'm just going to have a little play with it. Just drop that down, let go of that a minute. It's not going anywhere. It seems to pleat lovely most of the way around until it gets to that last bit, and then it just doesn't want to play. But I do wonder if it's because they're so small, and if the bigger one would form a nicer shape. Or am I pulling it too tight? I don't know. Because that looks to... Let's try. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong with these. I don't feel like they go very nicely. Anyway, that's good enough. Good enough. Till do. So, like I said, with these ones, I've added some beads to them for a reason. But this one and one other one I've left without beads, or I'm going to leave this one without beads. I'm just going to fasten it up. So on the instructions it says to tie a knot and then just sew through. I have been not so tying the knot yet, because I just prefer to do it. So I just do a couple of stitches just sort of through the middle, and then just knot my string in the stitch. I just have always done my knots when I've sewn this way. I don't know if it's the right way to do it, but I don't know who taught me to do it this way, or if I've just doing my own thing. We've got caught there on something. There's a knot somewhere I don't want there to be. This has not happened on any other one that I've done. Of course it's happened on the one that I'm filming. Yeah, so bad. That don't necessarily matter, because I'm going to glue that side down on this one. It'll be right. Has anybody shocked that the colour's got on it? It'll be right attitude today. Right, I'm just plugging in my glue gun. So, that'll go in my scraps bin. These won't, they'll go in the bin. Put my needle back in my box before I lose it. my little needle threader. Best invention in the world. I haven't tried these out yet. Has anybody got these? They're supposed to help you with spacing your stitches. Because I don't have a sewing machine, and sometimes I do like to stitch things, but I can never get them, like, the stitches equal, because I'm hand sewing them. So I've got that to try. I'm going to pop that in there. I only kept this bit to show you guys, because I don't think I'm going to keep the instructions. I think I kind of know what I'm doing. See, it has ideas. A wine bottle sack, a purse, and a corsage. There's some very basic instructions here. It says, for making yo-yo cloth, the cloth you should use should be about 6 by 6 centimetres. I don't feel like you need that much. I suppose you do, centimetres. Yeah. Use thin, regular thickness fabrics, sheetings, broadcloths, etc. Soft fabrics with draping properties. Don't use strong hand sewing, for thread. Use strong hand sewing thread, like quilting thread. Unsuitable. Do not use medium thick to thick fabrics like denim, felt, thick wool, etc. Hard or coarse fabrics are not suitable. And threads, don't use threads that are easily broken or machine sewing thread. Apparently. That's now just been chucked in the bin. So, yesterday, while I was having a bit of a hissy fit over these, I'd made several. There is a few more because I've had a little making session. I have made one of these. I kind of like it, but I also don't vibe with it. Like, I think it's the ribbon that's throwing me out. I don't think I like the ribbon I used, but I don't hate it. And then we have some, which of these are plain? That's plain, that's plain. I thought I had more. I do, because I've used one. So, I made these. This one, I put my fabric in the wrong way, so the fabric is inside out. But I went with it anyway. I used a large pearl on that one. And on this one, I used 3 little white beads. I quite like this one. I think that's cute. Too close. This one, I don't hate, but I don't love the bead I've used. I feel like the bead would have been better if it was 3 small. And then, there is another one, but I don't want to show it yet because I've put it onto something. So I don't quite want to show you that one yet. So, they were my trial runs. So, like I say, a load of these have beads on. That one doesn't, because that's the one I've just made. That one has beads. That one is the one that doesn't. These all have beads on them. I have made some more of these. It's just a little circle of card with lace glued around it to make a little lace flower. They're quite simple to make, but a little bit fussy. So I just made them all in advance because it's not really about these. Where were I? I had to pause and speak to a child. Not any child, my child. So these ones I'm going to glue bead side up. Like so. To make a nice little flower. These ones, I did think to myself, what would they look like that way? And I think I quite like it that way. I think it's going to have a little bit more volume to it. I mean, not more volume, but like, we'll see. How warm's my glue gun? Not overly warm yet. So, I think we're getting there. Let's have a go. Oh, yeah. I am using glue gun because it adheres quickly and I don't have to worry about knocking it while it glue dries or anything. So there we go, a nice little yo-yo. Where do I want this one? Which flower? Quite like that one. I think this is my favourite flower I've done. I really like that one. It's cute. I can imagine that with a little pin on the back, just pinned to something. Right. Now the orange one, I really aren't a fan of. I don't like the colour of it. But we roll. Some of them, when I was sewing in the beads, some of them I sewed to the top, some of them I just sewed through the bottom of the... This is quite a small feeling one, so... Like I say, some of these have turned out better than others. I'm not in love with this project, I'm not going to lie to you. I just... feel like it's not my best work, shall we say. I struggled with this one, and part of me thought, shall I just sack it off and do yellow? Because I'd had the idea to make a yellow mini journal or a yellow folio, or, you know, just something very yellow. But I wanted to push my boundaries a little bit and do something I weren't entirely comfortable with, and show you that not everything turns out perfectly and how you want it to. Glue threads. I don't hate them. I don't want you to think that I'm making something that I really don't like. I might stick these face down because I quite liked how they looked like that. Do I want it that way? No, I think I want it that way. So even though I've put beads on that, and I think that as well, this one really didn't turn out very great, I don't think. So the lace I used weren't anything special. It was just some from a bundle from Amazon. I want to say Amazon, but it could be Temu, because we all know like a Temu buy. But I think I do get most of my lace on Amazon. Yeah. So there we have it. This was only a quick one because I'd done a lot of the work beforehand. And honestly, I didn't want to sit here and sew a load of these because I just didn't like it that much. I will show you how I have used one of them, because I thought I'd better try and show you how I might use one. And I would use one of these in a cluster, or on a page tab, or on a journal topper. I can imagine it being made quite pretty on the top of a journal. Now I put together this little page tab. It's a long page tab with our little yo-yo flower and some little tickets and such, labels. And I think it looks quite nice. It's quite grungy. Let's have a look. And then you can put this, let's just hide you up a bit so I don't knock the camera, on the edge of a page. I don't know that it's going to go in this journal, but like so. And then obviously, I think maybe not the bright yellow page, but something like that I quite like. I think that looks really quite pretty. Yeah, I do like this one. I did grunge up the lace a little bit because it just looked too white against this. So I just went over it with my ink dauber, just with what was already on it when I'd been inking these. And I think it turned out quite nicely. It's not awful, which is what we strive for, isn't it? Not awful. Ugh. So there we have our yo-yos. using a quick yo-yo maker. I think it's a nice little tool. I might be interested to try and find a bigger one and see how that works out. See if it's a bit better. It'd be worth a try, I think. I mean, I think with a little practice, maybe these would turn out a bit nicer. I do quite like the ones that I've flipped over and not put beads on. I do think they might be my favourite ones. I think I like these ones best. Yeah, I think I prefer these to... I mean, that's my... I'm not gonna lie, I think that might be one of my favourites. But, like, that one's just not how I wanted it to look. To be fair, the orange one doesn't look terrible. I've got a glue string attached. That one... it's alright, I guess. I think on the right project it might look okay. But yeah, I think these ones are my favourites. I do like this one. I think this one went quite well. Just a little pop of purple in the middle was quite nice. But yeah. Y is for yo-yos. Not gonna lie, when I told somebody else that I was making yo-yos, they thought I was actually making, you know, like a toy yo-yo that children play with, you know, the good old 90s yo-yo. And obviously no, yo-yo's not from the 90s, it's much before that as well, isn't it? My desk needs to clear off. It's got lots of bits of paper. I think it's probably all under my mat. But yes, I hope you enjoyed this quick little video, and I'll catch you in the next one.